Hello there, everyone. It's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes, the podcast where we look at the stars and numbers, the astrology and numerology, and an upcoming event. In this case, the Scorpio full moon happening on April 24th, Universal Time at 12:50 a.m. And that's April 23rd, Eastern Time, 7:50 p.m. and 4:50 p.m. Pacific Time. So this is a big one because, well, Scorpio is always a major full moon because it's a water sign. It feels so deeply, it's so sensitive and focuses on the stinger moving into truth and empowerment. And what makes this particular Scorpio full moon so powerful is that it creates a T-square to the ruler of Scorpio, Pluto. So the co-rulers are actually Mars and Pluto. Mars is the ancient ruler, Pluto the modern ruler. And so when there is a T-square, the most tense, activating, move into action connection between planets, that kind of activation means that it's going to be extra potent. And we're already in a hugely potent month. As you know, April is when pretty much everything is happening this year, from the total solar new moon eclipse in Aries to Saturn conjunct Mars, the ruler of the Aries eclipse a couple days later, to this amazing conjunction that we're experiencing right now between Uranus and Jupiter. In fact, I'm recording this the day of the conjunction on April 20th, 21st. And now the Scorpio full moon, and then at the end of the month, Mars actually moves into Aries, its own sign. So that's on April 30th. So this is really a major, pivotal, transformative moment. And transformation is the name of the game for Pluto. So Pluto will be at 2 degrees in Aquarius. As you probably know, on January 20th, Pluto moved into Aquarius. And this is just changing everything. So this full moon in Scorpio, Pluto's sign, that creates this 90-degree angle from the sun and the moon to Pluto, is asking you to get involved in the transformation. Squares are activators, and your ability to let go and release and welcome the new is really heightened at this time. So you're uncovering things that you probably didn't realize or maybe intuited and now are being confirmed. And Mars is helping as well. Mars, the co-ruler of Scorpio, because remember, this is a Mars-infused month with that Aries total solar eclipse ruled by Mars, and then Mars conjunct Saturn, and then Mars moving into Aries at the end of the month. So there's a lot of determination for uncovering and going deeply and finding things that maybe you didn't want to address, and facing those fears, having the courage to go beyond your fears. And of course, the greatest fear is death. And Scorpio and Pluto symbolize, in the 8th house in astrology with Scorpio rules, that is the house of life, death, transformation. So this is the phoenix rising out of the ashes moment where we are truly discovering how strong we are and how we are never going to succumb. We're never giving up. We're taking back our power. Pluto represents power and empowerment. What are you doing in your life that's giving another person or an external energy the power over you, seemingly? Because, of course, you have the power to stop that. So this is really the awakening to recognize that. So with the sun and moon squaring Pluto, it's a time to forgive and let bygones be bygones and wrap things up. You know, the full moon is about endings. It's about culminations. We had that total solar eclipse on the 8th of April to start things off. Now we are coming to terms with everything that's come up as a result of the eclipse and prior to, because remember, Pluto moving into Aquarius to start the year is prior to for 250 years. So there's history as well to look at. and wanting to change historically how things are done. And the moon square Pluto is really tuning into your intuition. This Scorpio full moon is in the sign of water and deep recognition of truths, becoming conscious and self-aware of both the light and the dark, because the truth encompasses all, both sides of the coin, and your ability to read people and situations are greatly enhanced. So you are truly being put in the driver's seat right now, and that's a good thing. You may not know the model of the car, or you don't know the route you're going, and that's all part of the transformation. It's part of Uranus conjunct Jupiter. Uranus is about surprises. Jupiter is about traveling wherever your heart takes you. Like there are no boundaries, no borders. It's expansive. The vista is great, right? You're really seeing a lot more as a result of what's going on this month. Scorpio is very passionate, very deeply physically connected. The 8th house in Scorpio governs sexuality. So Scorpio intensifies energy, and the full moon intensifies energy. So you're able, through this inner transformation, to gather a lot of divine inspired support energetically to be okay with what you uncover, to be okay with what you observe in others and observe in you, to not be taken aback to the point where you're incapacitated. This is a flowing water sign, so you're able to take it in and keep flowing on that river of life, move around the boulders, notice the eddy, may even be in the eddy for a moment, and then to get out and start flowing again in that river of life, intuitively trusting, right? This is truly about knowing that if you come across something, if you're experiencing something very challenging that involves power or a power struggle or control issues, which are all governed by Scorpio and Pluto, that you can move into these with compassion, and you can move into these without being intimidated, without being controlled, without being manipulated. You know, this is a really important moment to notice, am I being manipulated in any way that I don't realize? Scorpio uncovers that. It brings it to the surface. So there's a lot of change. There's a lot of restoration. There's forgiveness. There's letting go of memories that may be interfering, memories that come back because you are holding on to an attachment with that situation or person. This is really a fantastic time to leave those behind. The river only flows in one direction. You can't go back if you're in the flow. Looking back doesn't make sense if you need to watch out for what's in front of you. So keep that visual in mind, because this is a fantastic time for growth, and growth requires focusing on the present moment. That's all growth is. You grow when you focus on right now, what's in front of you right now, instead of looking back. So give others the space to grow as well. This is a time not to personalize. If you feel like you're being attacked, not to personalize it. Allow that energy to be expressed by the other. You don't have to participate in it, right? So the healing happens when you don't join the energy, when you transmute it, when you transform it, and when you thereby empower yourself, and as a transmuter and transformer, empower the energy around you, because it's shifting. So yes, this is an immense moment, and we have a couple other transits too that are activated. One is that Mars, co-ruler Scorpio, is sextile Jupiter and Uranus, and that is the conjunction, of course, that is active as we speak. A major conjunction, probably the biggest of the year, where we are breaking free. Uranus, ruler of the Aquarian age in Aquarius. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and joy. They're coming together, and you are truly, with Mars sextile these two planets, seeing your greater purpose, having the motivation to move forward, having the desire to focus on successful outcomes and experiencing great results, right? So this is important. Also keep in mind that Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and that's where Pluto is, and Pluto rules this full moon. So there's so much freedom energy here. There's so much letting go and taking the initiative and looking to the future by being present in the moment, not looking back. Like, this is really the big theme here, is to be spiritually engaged, to be engaged in your business, in your relationships, in health, in inner peace, in the environment, in taking the lead. You need to be present. With Mars sextile Uranus, this is fast-moving energy as well. This is energy about independence, energy about using your instinct to set yourself free, and preparing for surprising developments, and embracing the unusual, and allowing the unusual, and seeking out the unusual, seeking out your inner genius. So it's really big energy. And since Scorpio governs the unseen, a lot will come to the surface. So be discerning and allow the end of Mercury retrograde, which is also happening in Aries, the sign of the month, really. Allow the end of Mercury retrograde to direct you inward, and also allow you to express yourself verbally and in written form in a way that is very direct, not aggressive, knowing when to refrain and stay silent as well. But you are really being tuned into the impact of what your words are, what your voice sounds like, how sounds appear to you. This is all part of the Scorpio sensitivity and the psychic awareness, the intuitive awareness, the subtle realms of attunement. So there's a lot of energies from different flavors of our experience on Earth that are all joining together for us to really have the full experience of living to the greatest of our abilities and trusting in our heart. Because sometimes the stimuli are going to be very rapid moving and very profound and strong. And so we need to trust in God, trust in Source, trust in our guides, trust in Creator, trust in Spirit. That Spirit will always provide what we need at that given moment. This is really an incredible breakthrough moment for all of us, to not rely on previous ways of dealing with whatever shows up, but to show up yourself fully. When you show up, when you are present, you don't have to worry about what is showing up for you, because you attracted that to begin with in order to grow. So you're showing up much more connected now, much more in control, much more able to handle anything that comes up, not to be afraid, because whatever shows up was meant to be for your growth, and you're saying yes. And you're using that Scorpio deep energy to uncover whatever needs to uncover so that you can move forward. So it's also a great time to explore your own birth code, your star code that you were born with, because you go to the depth of your frequencies. And I have a beautiful free masterclass for you that looks at your birthday and your birth certificate name. And we also go into your astrology and your degree numbers, and it's all free. And I give you a handout as well. You can watch that at starcodeclass.com. And this is such a good time to acquaint yourself with your star code and with the codes of the people in your life, so that you can be more forgiving, more accepting, more aware, and more proactive with how you attend to your relationships to begin with. It's so important to be aware of your divine blueprint. And we cover that in starcodeclass.com, and you get instant access. So enjoy that free masterclass. Have a beautiful Scorpio full moon, and I will see you next week in our next Star Codes podcast. Lots of love.